Again, A&M victorious in straight sets yesterday. See what happens here on day number 2. Aggies in white on the left side of your screen, LSU in purple on the right. The first point of the match goes the way of the 8th ranked team in the country. Cameron Ennis, the junior from San Antonio, Texas, the one that keyed the serve in as the Tigers try from the middle. The dig goes over, redirected by number 7, the tall 6'5" senior from Missouri City, Texas. Samara Hill, sophomore from Oviedo, Florida, serving for the Tigers. It's Mallory Talbert sitting down for Texas A&M, checking in. Sabrina Sestala, sophomore from Cypress, Texas. The A&M block sends that back. Salima, give me a couple keys to the match for both squads.
Well, you know, A&M's going to have to just maintain what they did yesterday and keep their composure throughout the course of this match. LSU, very talented team with bringing back most of their offense, so they're going to have to do a good job at the net defensively to keep them from coming away with a win today.
Also interesting, too, the adjustments that we will see from yesterday in this unique format. Teams used to playing back-to-back, but not traditionally back-to-back against a conference opponent.
Well, you know, that's the interesting thing about this season and what makes it kind of fun. I know the coaches are enjoying playing back-to-back and scouting right away and getting into that coaching. Really have to do a lot of coaching in that second match.
Finding that back left corner, Aggies off to a great start. Seen Morgan Davis in on some, sister Lauren Davis in on a couple of plays as well. Morgan, the older of the two, a senior, Lauren, a sophomore. Numbers 22 and 7 respectively for the Aggies. And Salima, you look at this box score from yesterday, it was 25-14, so the most dominant set was for the Aggies, set number 3 in yesterday's match. They've come out very sharp thus far. And it looks as if we will have our first challenge of the match. So just a reminder, in this 5-set format, it's best 3 out of 5. First 4 going to 25, win by 2. If we go to set 5, it is to 15. But there are 3 challenges in play. This is what is reviewable. The ball in or out, contacting a player, net fault, service foot fault, or 3-meter attack line foot fault. So we will go back and look.
So during this replay, you know, they can challenge anything, either at the net, the touch, the ball in or out. They kind of packaged those together this year.
So the challenge had come from Coach Flory on the LSU side. Point had been originally awarded to Texas A&M. So there was no touch. So still waiting some additional clarification on the challenge there, but as you've seen, LSU did serve the score at 5-2. Point did go the way of the Tigers.
I love the way Anita Nwusi just kind of hangs in the air, sees that tip coming, waits for it, and just throws it back down.
So just to clarify the challenge, the call was reversed, so a successful challenge by LSU. That's why they got the point, because there was no touch at the net. So that was a pivotal juncture too as well at that challenge. A&M had started out with so much momentum, it looked like, but now LSU cutting it to 1, continuing to serve. Aggies try the left side, and the block successful for the Tigers.
That ball was maybe a little bit tight to the net, not a lot of room to go, but Bannister did a nice job of just pressing over and giving her no daylight to swing.
4-0 scoring run now for LSU, continuing to serve, trying to pressure that back right, number 5 and Taylor Voss, but smartly letting that one go. Service error from Emmeline Walters, who will sit down, as will Voss. So Aggies stop the run, well, get courtesy of the run stoppage on the service error, but some offense from LSU. Samara Hill yesterday, 6 kills on 21 swings. It's Taylor Bannister. Preseason All-SEC nod. Get a back row swing. Break down, Salima, the game of Bannister. What makes her one of the best players in this conference?
Well, it's really her offensive blocking, but the fact that she can stay in the back row, you know, coaches always have to make a decision. Are we going to get more swings and kills out of that position? Or are we going to lose more points because they're giving them up defensively? And you have to make that decision. I think that's what's great about Taylor Bannister. She can dig and play defense. That keeps her in there and allows them to have more offense with her out of the back row.
So she is the one to keep an eye on, especially when she's in that back row tall. Number 7 is tipped down the line, but just wide and out of bounds.
It's a smart play by Paige Flickinger. Gets the outside hitter on the ground, and then A&M has nowhere to go. Trap set, and the ball's hit out of bounds.
Flickinger will go back to serve, freshman from Roanoke, Texas, and delivers with a service ace. First ace we've seen of the match. How about the set on that play right there?
That was a beautiful save at the net. You'll see this ball is passed really tight. One-handed dish behind. Hard to do, beautifully executed, and Rush gets on that quickly.
It's Camille Connor, the setter for Texas A&M, senior from Katy, Texas, AVCA. Honorable mention last year, All-South from the AVCA as well. Coming off a great season opener, 29 assists, 13 digs, 5 kills. And you mentioned Holland Hands, the era for her at Texas A&M ending last year. So Camille Connor at the setting position will be asked to do so much, both on the court as a leader as well as she tries the left side, and a good combination there, finding the back right corner does Cameron Ennis.
You know, and I think this is what's really great about A&M is they do have other hitters that can score, that can make up for some of those swings and those kills that they were seeing with hands last year. And that's what she has to do, is just distribute the ball as much as she can, keep the defense off balance, and get her hitters the ball.
So another challenge coming from LSU. If this does not go to a fifth set, if it goes to a fifth, coaches receive one additional, but point going to the Aggies, who will serve.
Well, you know, it's like you said earlier, you know, Coach Flory is taking into account what her players are saying, what they're seeing. That can close the gap, that can slow momentum down. And, you know, after yesterday's match, you know, it's not a bad idea to, hey, let's keep this tight. Let's see if we can generate some energy here and slow things down on their side of the net. And that can create some issues.
Always so tough for a coach, because I don't think we've ever seen a player say, hey, don't challenge this. As we have a great rally going on here, a couple beautiful defensive plays. Carly Rose, the setter for the Tigers, will try for Bannister, who ends the sequence.
And that's the defense that both sides of the net need, just flying around, making fantastic plays, all defensive players, but when they need a kill, LSU is going to go back to Bannister.
There's Allison Fields, number 11 in white, diving, trying to save that, as Rose will try the left side, trickles through the block. So the Tigers now wrestling control of some momentum, good offense coming off their side of the net.
And I just love how hard Samara Hale plays. She bangs the ball. She's got great vision. She can hit off the top of the block, and she just muscled that one through.
That's number 1 in purple. As Rose will try the right side. Big swing from Bannister brought up. The free ball coming for LSU. Connor will try the slide from Talbert. Just wide and out of bounds.
LSU being super patient with their swings, even though they're getting dug. Sometimes that can be frustrating, waiting for the ball to come back and executing.
So a 4-0 scoring run for the visiting LSU Tigers. Timeout from Texas A&M. Come back to College Station here in a moment. Welcome back to Reed Arena. 4-0 scoring run for the LSU Tigers. Currently hitting .261 to .087 for Texas A&M. Salima, anything you've seen adjustment-wise that's triggered this run or this different energy from LSU from that first handful of points?
Well, you know, I think it was the challenge that slowed things down, got their team a little bit confident, right? Okay, we're back in this. We can score a couple points. And this is a good LSU team. Let's not forget that. Like, it's hard to play consistently at a high level against a team, certainly over the course of one match, let alone back-to-back matches. So I think LSU is just finding their rhythm, finding a groove a little bit here, and playing good volleyball.
Well, you talk rhythm and groove coming out of that timeout. Camille Connor with the dump and then some defense. The block on the A&M side. And to your point, LSU, last year A&M was ranked 25th in the country. LSU beat them. That was their first win over a ranked opponent since 2010. And this Tiger team returns all of their leading producers in the major stat categories. So this should be a great match. It's had some good back and forth thus far. It's now a 3-0 scoring run for Texas A&M. Ennis to serve for the Aggies. And wow. We talk Bannister top of the show, and she shows us why right there.
When you see this in rotation one, they like to bring her in just on a one ball. You normally see her hit on the right side of the court, but they can put her, and it's really not even a one ball. They just lay it up there for her, go get it, hit as high as you can, and she did.
They set her 44 times in yesterday's match, had 15 kills, 6 errors. along with another aspect of her game that is so good, 14 digs. Big reason why Coach Flory and LSU so comfortable moving her all the way around the floor. It's her team at a 3-point advantage serving. Second time now we've seen Connor successfully dump, and Salima, that is something that she has in the arsenal and will go to frequently.
She really does, and this is something that the back row players should know, need to be ready for and aware of, and I think they saw it last night. They've seen her do it before in conference in previous years, and they need to have a heads up on that.
Yeah, she had 11 attack attempts yesterday with 5 kills, numbers that you don't traditionally see from a setter, double-digit attack attempts at least.
Well, and she'll swing with that left hand. She'll set it over on the second ball, and she's super savvy. She knows what she's doing. That's why she's one of the best setters in the conference.
6'1" senior from Katy, Texas. But that's all 6'5" of Bannister, and her re-jump ability, gets back up, takes it home.
It's just not fair. It's not fair. She's up there, and then she's almost as high the second go around without really even taking an approach and hitting with her left hand.
That's something that you see so often. I don't know if we talk about it a lot. That second jump ability, it's something that for players, that when they can go down and get right back up and then scan the floor like we saw just there, such a unique tool to have in your arsenal.
Well, that's impressive. It's really how well she moves and has control over her body to be able to do that.
Over pass on the serve. Rose will try the middle, and that one pushed through. Anita Onwusi, first time we've called the name of the sophomore from Houston, Texas, middle blocker.
And I love how quick she is off the floor, and she's got energy. She's always ready to go, springy, gets on the ball quick, and they're going to go to her when they have an opportunity on a good pass.
Davis pushes that one off the block.
Davis doing a nice job finding that hole, finding a little bit rattling between the block there.
Number 7 for the home squad in white, you see on the left side of your screen. They've gone her way the most out of any attacker, 7 times. Tied with Camille Connor for 3 kills. Back row swing, but the double block there. Easy work for the Aggies defense.
Davis she's just hanging out. She's waiting for it, sees it coming, and just stays home and blocks the ball.
Sister Morgan, 6'4", middle blocker. Tight to the net and just a little too far over. A&M ties it up.
You know, and this is where LSU needs to really steady out, of course, shore up their passing. One ball's way off the net, forcing that out of system back row. Then that one's too tight. Happy medium would be good.
Another overpass they had. We had talked earlier this week and told us, hey, we have to get tested, or we got tested earlier today. We get the results. Tomorrow we just have our fingers crossed. We're waiting because we want to go on the road and be able to play.
And that's tough because they weren't going to know until they were about to leave. You know, they get the test results and then they get in their mode of transportation and go. So that's pretty nerve-wracking.
Look what she said too. This is the most excited, Coach Flory said, I've ever been for a bus ride. And those of you, if you've taken a bus for a long time, you've been on plenty. It's not that fun when you're going over a few hours.
Not really.
They were excited and ready to go. Already one match under the belts of both of these teams yesterday. You see the
Bannister does a nice job dropping in to the cross court here. She's one-on-one. This is an offense that's faster on the left side for A&M. Do a nice job of getting Davis one-on-one, but Bannister just drops in to block the ball.
Well, Davis on the other side. Camille Connor goes her way, and Davis seeming to find that heart of the court for LSU with a couple of her swings thus far. Aggies back into the lead as we approach 20 here in the opening set. Those will go back row. Bannister showing that wide-ranging arsenal of offensive attacks.
And I tell you, when you see someone coming in from the back row like that, full steam ahead, especially Bannister, you think you're on your heels, ready to dig this ball, and she just rolls that ball in the court. Smart shot by her, tough to defend by A&M.
Yeah, for us, we're waiting to hear that boom. Heard it there. Big swing on the right side. It's Treyana Rush, sophomore from Texarkana, Texas. 6'1", playing the opposite.
And I would expect as this match goes along to hear a little bit more out of her. More swings, more kills from Treyana Rush.
They went her way, the third most out of any player attack-wise yesterday. 15 swings, 4 kills, 3 errors. Do so again, up high on Bannister, but gets it back and transitions the defense to offense.
And I love that swing by Hill. I mean, she's got such a heavy arm. Get on this ball quick, and if you just get in the way of it, you hope it goes up and doesn't ricochet out of bounds. And that's not even with a full approach. Just a step close and bang.
Just could not get there in time to libero. Carly Basham, beautiful up by the Tigers. Need plays like that at 2020. Those will try the left, and Hill once again.
Tell you, LSU playing some good defense, making some adjustments because A&M got them in the middle of the court earlier. Now they're flying in there to make those plays and transitioning out to Hill.
Tigers at the 1-point advantage. Contact into the net called on the Aggies side. Is tied for 7th as 6 SEC teams go to the NCAA tournament last year. That'll be tough this year as the tournament field expected for the spring trimmed down by 12. As LSU gets the point coming out of the timeout.
And I tell you, Bannister, sometimes she's just in the way of the ball. She's standing in the right spot, digging a lot of balls already tonight, and chops this one and gets a trickle off the net.
Set 12, excuse me, that was 16. The tournament field going from 64 to 48. We'll talk about that a little later, but the importance of these 8 conference matches, it's going to be such a quick season. Played just against 4 opponents for both of these teams, but those will count for what's anticipated come spring. At least 12 matches to crown a champion that will receive the automatic bid.
It's like you said, they know how important it is, and it's a race, right? You have a shortened season right now. You have X amount of matches. They're so important, and carrying those wins into the spring are crucial.
Well, what's crucial here is the 5-0 scoring run that the Tigers have found, giving themselves set point, but a service error. Give the ball back to A&M. An opportunity to jump back in as it was Jill Bonet.
Nice run by her, though.
So Taylor Voss will serve. Aggies backs against the wall. Tigers looking for their first set victory of the year. The block sends it back, the swing from Hill. Talbert over there on the right side.
Well, you know, and this is just watching and reading.
Kentucky victorious, 2 matches against Tennessee. So that's the preseason conference favorite. We saw a timeout from LSU after conceding 3 consecutive points. That was after a timeout earlier from A&M that LSU had given themselves set point. Tightest they got yesterday was 25-22 in the second.
So if I'm A&M, I'm keeping an eye out for Bannister out of the back row. see if they're going to look to Hill or do something different. I mean, if they need a side out, that's what I might look at the D-ball here with Bannister.
As we'll try Bannister from the back row. Aggies turn. And LSU gets the point. It was called out of bounds. That'll be set point, but hold on just 1 sec, because the Aggies were confident that ball was in. Challenge coming. We've seen 2 from LSU. The first time the green card played by Bert Kuhn. Difference through the game of volleyball, and that conversation will continue to evolve, but something that we actually heard from Coach Kuhn initially prior to talking with Coach Flory, she was very excited about. And Salima, we've talked a lot about this continuing conversation about social justice, about what is right, and what these coaches have done to create the space for those players. And both of these coaches telling us so much great conversations have occurred and will continue to occur regarding such. Bannister slamming that ball back down. So her team took the opening set in dramatic fashion. They had a quartet of set points that then the Aggies chipped into, but a challenge ends up giving them the 25th and final point they needed to take the first set of the match and the first set of this matchup, as they dropped all 3 yesterday, but off to a good start here now in set number 2.
Well, and I tell you, LSU's putting a lot of pressure on the A&M passers right now, getting them a little bit out of system so they're not in rhythm, and then they're able to control the ball when it comes back and transition and score, and that's the key. And Bannister is just going after it, hitting that ball over the top of the block, a ball that's coming out of system from the libero. Just doing a nice job leading this team here.
Scrambling to get that. Just to button up the conversation that we had about the block-out racism, Salima, you had mentioned it, an initiative from Coach Flory, but she had wanted to make clear that she is going to support the kids, support the staff. She wants to be that target to make sure that if there's any of those voices coming at the team, that she is there. But the administration at LSU, their athletic director and Scott Woodward, who used to be at Texas A&M, Stephanie Remp as well, 2 names that she had singled out that said, look, the administration has been phenomenal as well in their support for what I am trying to do, and grow this as something that she hopes to see take on across the conference and the game of volleyball as well at the NCAA level. Saw that ball clip the antenna.
This is exactly what A&M needs to do against LSU. Be in a position, read the play. They're doing a nice job holding their position and then being disciplined with their block from the outside.
Salima, your takeaways from set number 1, it was really even. We saw rallies on both sides, but LSU just getting a couple points at the end. What were your big takeaways and adjustments possibly for set number 2 for both teams?
Well, I think both sides of the net they have to do a better job serving tough to keep each team out of system. I mean, that's the obvious. That's always the name of the game. But Bannister, they have to either slow her down or figure out a way to slow everybody else down. You know, she's going to get her kills. She's going to do what she does, but you can't let Hill go off. You can't let Anwusi go off. You can't let the rest of the group have their success. So they need to slow down the rest of the crew and then for LSU. Maintain the level of energy that they have right now and be smart with their ball.
Bannister with a match-leading 9 kills, but love what you mentioned. Samara Hill, she chipped in with 4 herself, and we saw a couple of those at pivotal moments right around 18, 19, 20 there that put them at the lead. Number 1, you see the sophomore for the LSU Tigers, but A&M with a 3-point advantage. We've seen that a handful of times, maybe 3-4 times on an Aggie serve, the overpass that the Tigers send back, and Aggie's able to turn back. So a good start for the home squad, down 1-0, but leading 8-4 here in set number 2. 7 kills, hitting 286. In the match, Aggies at a 188 clip, Tigers a 132 clip. 11 errors for LSU, 9 errors on the attack for A&M. Talk side out percentages. No coaches look at that so much. LSU 41.9, Texas A&M 44.8. So it's really been back and forth.
It has, and right now it's A&M, and their point scoring is huge. Their point scoring rotation's at 58%. That's when they're serving, and that's what's carrying them right now.
Talked with Coach Flory and Coach Kuhn about this back-to-back nature. Coach Flory said, hey, I'm old school. I've done this before. I've been around long enough that I know how this format used to be. But the great quote, which you had kind of alluded to earlier, that Coach Flory had said, personnel shouldn't change. Barring any injuries, you're going to have the same players back on the court. So for coaches, we're the ones that can create opportunities off the adjustments from day 1, night number 1, to day 2, night number 2.
Yeah, and that's the best part about doing it. It's so fun to coach these matches, and that chess game kind of back and forth is the best part of the game.
So much more responsibility on the coaches, did Coach Flory say. It's LSU stopping the run. Bannister serving. Rose will go her way.
Nice high swing off the top of the block by Ennis. They need her to warm up a little bit. She was their big-time player last night with the leading attacker for A&M. And they need Ennis to kind of get going here.
It's an A&M team that lost 3 starters that were named to the AVCA South All-Region team last year. Camila Gomez, Holland Hands, and McKenna Patterson. So filling in some new roles. Ennis coming over from Kansas.
Huge block here by Rush. I mean, look at her pressing over the net. That's exactly what the coaches are training in the gym day after day, getting your hands over and completely sealing the net.
And you had mentioned it earlier, Salima. That's a name and number in 14, Treyana Rush, that will be a huge piece for this Texas A&M team as they continue to build throughout the course of this season, returning for her sophomore year. Out, back underway. Down the line, the swing from Rush, but wide and out of bounds.
You know, and that swing was there. She could just heat that ball clean. Looks like she hit that ball down the line with that left hand and then came across her body a little bit. You see her cross her body, and that's where that ball gets cut out of bounds just a little bit.
Short serve. Back row attack. And wow, Bannister, she was behind the 3-meter line, but the way that she jumps, it looks like she's right at the net.
Well, that's the idea, man. To have those players that can fly and really broad jump all the way to the net when they land. And she's hitting that deep third of the court where the A&M defense isn't right now. She's going to have a ton of success there.
That swing wide and out of bounds. And we had talked about it earlier on one of those similar attacks from Bannister. You see the lead up, and she's taking off. We saw a touch. That other opportunity, that one was all power, though.
And that's what she does. She has, her game has just expanded over the years. Just watching her grow and develop over the course of the last few years, it's just impressive.
Crazy too, Coach Flory saying in regard to Bannister, doesn't feel as if she's done growing yet.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So that one of the challenges, her ability to hold weight and strength, the challenge, it's impacted her ability to fully practice. But for the fall, this is the first time she's been able to play assertively through practice, and that has just skyrocketed her confidence level as well.
A smart shot by her. The ball's set a little bit behind the 10-foot line. You want to lead your hitters into that ball a little bit more, set it in front of the 10-foot line. It was right on top of it, and she just tipped it to the right back where the defender was not.
You're talking sophomore setter Carly Rose from Tomball, Texas. Coach Flory saying a dynamic and fun setter, but not quite taking charge yet the way that she wants her to, and the way that Salima, maybe setters need to. How much as a setter do you have to take charge of things for your team?
Well, it's everything really, and it's your leadership. They look to you as a leader, but you know what I'm seeing today from Carly is a lot of leadership, and she's talking to her teammates. She's got to work on that. You got to work through that confidence as a younger player and be comfortable doing that, comfortable in your own skin, voicing that to upperclassmen. But I think she's doing a nice job. She's a fantastic setter, fun to watch, and she'll get there. She'll get where her friend needs her to be.
Yeah, and you see just a sophomore, and that's usually you watch freshman to sophomore year, so much freshman year that you're trying to just learn and figure out, not just volleyball-wise as well, but making that jump. One thing I've noticed, and like your opinion, she does Rose to move so well around the court.
She does. She's quick on her feet. She's light on her feet, and I think that's what helps her get around so efficiently and smooth.
No opportunity to set there, just had to push it across. Wilso here, tried back row, but Bannister just a little short. The reaction there felt like she left one on the floor.
Yeah, she kind of didn't hit at the top of her reach, hit that ball on the way down. That happens, but the block was there. I think Morgan Christian is in the game now for A&M, and she was there in the right spot.
Sophomore Morgan Christian, number 8 in white, also a transfer from Kansas. Rose trying the left in Samara Hill. Davis taps over the block.
And a smart shot there by Davis, and it's really where you place that ball. You know, you can tip that ball a little bit further to the left, and the left side attacker might be able to get it with Bannister on her heels there, and also Hill on her heels. It's a smart shot.
Aggies with the service error. Christian that we talked about earlier, so the ball back on the side out to the Tigers. Carly Rose, the setter, will serve. Bannister tips over, but up, diving to the floor was Connor. As we'll go to Bannister again, this one short. Some defense from Texas A&M.
Huge block by Davis. That's a big block at a crucial time. See this, she tracks it, times it perfectly, gets her arms over the net. A great spot.
Aggies outblocked the Tigers 11-7 yesterday. Currently leading 8.5 to 4 today. Leading by 3. It's another swing, boy. Davis really taking command of that left side, both offensively and defensively.
Well, you like to see, and this is what happens. Players get comfortable. They get warm. The setter knows it. They're like, okay, where am I going with this ball? I'm going to set. You know, I always tell young setters, set your hot hand. Hey, when someone's feeling it, let it ride.
Tough pass there for Rose to go back. Back row swing there. Said it before when we've been on the air, found money maybe on that one. Is Flickinger able to capitalize?
Definitely found a little money, but a smart shot. She just chopped that ball easy down the line. That's what you want to do, not send a free ball over the net. Jump, take a little bit of swing, get them off balance, and in that case, she was able to
put a little pressure on that defense.
That's it.
Davis doing the same there on the other side of the net. Well off of it with her swing, able to find the floor.
She's playing with such confidence right now. That ball is just laid up there, you know, bad pass, chucked up in the air, and she just gets her feet in a good position. That's what I like about her. Her alignment is really good. Her feet are there, her right arm is there, and that's why she's able to move the ball around.
10 kills, 18 swings, hitting .389 individually is Lauren Davis. For the spring, at least 12 matches. All of those will be combined to determine an SEC champ come springtime, which will lead into an NCAA tournament, field of 48. 32 automatic qualifiers, but 12 at large. I had mentioned that earlier. 6 SEC teams making the conference, making the NCAA tournament last year, but it is really going to be hard to get in there with those 32 AQs.
It is. That's such a big difference than in years past. I mean, it's going to be tough for a lot of teams that made it last year and are good enough to be in it this year. So we'll see how this goes.
And obviously with the nature of travel, those back-to-back coming on the same floor as well. It's a big celebration for Onwusi. Swing from the right side. Rush.
And that's Rush. She just has so much range. You know, you saw her miss that one a little bit down the line earlier, but she's got that shot. She has a hard cross court, and she can move this ball around like anybody else. You know, and I'm a big fan of Triana Rush.
Gone her way 7 times. One player been really quiet. Cameron Ennis. Seen a lot of Davis.
Now they've got Christian in there, trying to get some production. Tough play on the LSU side, just a ball that's tight. Maybe they were a little confused about what maybe the set was going to be, but Flickinger unable to get it over the net.
And falling right in front of the backline defense for the Aggies. LSU needing that point.
And you know, it's interesting, they run this little play, and Wusi's kind of in there. She plays that ball short, and the middle blocker just holds tight for 1 second, allowing that split on the right side for Bannister.
Match leading 14 kills for Bannister, who serves.
Looks like 4 hits on that first swing that they covered, but they called 4 hits.
So the point to the Tigers will stay with the serve. Bannister to do so again. And Salima, in watching her serve, it's a tricky serve. Why is it tricky?
Well, it's interesting. She likes to face kind of cross court, and then she hits that ball down the line across her body. This is kind of her bread and butter. I've seen this before from her, but it's really the height she is. You know, she's 6'5". That ball's coming from a different height across the net. Serving that one zone is difficult. It's probably the hardest zone as a setter to run your offense from. So you got a combination of a lot of things: a tough serve, kind of a look away serve, and then in a zone that's traditionally pretty tough for setters.
It was 2015. Tigers got the side out, a 4-0 scoring run. Bannister continuing to serve. Hear that home crowd trying to make some noise and break this rally. Overpass still targeting Fields. So Bannister serving has keyed this rally for the Tigers and tied things up at 5 apiece. In 2018, all AVCA South Region in 2018 as well. Led the team last year with 438 kills, 4.29%, was good for 4th in the conference. So one of the best players in the SEC. Keyed her team back into this second set. They already lead 1-0. 5-0 scoring run, 20 apiece. See if the timeout breaks the rhythm or if the run continues. From the back row, so it's all Bannister right now.
One-man show.
Pushing her team to an advantage. Salima, what's the pressure, though, that on the serve receive, it looks like the passing from the Aggies, a lot of pressure from Bannister.
A lot of pressure. I mean, this is a tough serve that's going deep and has some movement on it. That's what makes it so hard. And they've finally gotten a rhythm. Yep, finally got a good pass there and able to run their offense. That's what they need. If that ball can get on the money, they can set anybody. Once they're way out of system and off the net, forced to the left side, that makes it really troublesome.
So, you know, I've been listening to you. I know it all starts with passing and clean passing. What a difference that can make. The pass there tough and takes LSU out of their system. What's the chance for the Aggies on their side? Dig going deep back, good save. Free ball coming for Texas A&M. Triana Rush.
You know, this is tough when this ball, when you have a free ball and you'll see the middle blocker just front A&M's middle and you're one-on-one with Rush. I got my money on her in that situation.
That's what you saw from that replay, a clean window to attack through as the Aggies back at the 1-point advantage. Connor will try Rush again. That brought up by Chanchuli momentarily, but not long enough.
Rush carrying them a little bit here, and Rose a little hesitation on her part playing that second ball after the dig.
It's Reagan Chanchuli, you saw the senior libero for LSU in the white jersey, will receive that serve. Rose goes into the middle. Block sends it back. And the point goes to A&M for set point to come.
See, and that's a nice commit block. You see she's just hanging tight, waiting for that set in the middle of the court. Jumps when the setter sets the ball.
There's Mallory Talbert out there solo with the solo block, but a service error at the first set point gives LSU an opportunity to stay alive in this set. Overpass. There's Rose go here. She'll try Samara Hill. Defense there for the Aggies. Offensive chance for the Tigers. Do it again, back middle brought up. Over to the left side, and that one hammered home.
And a big swing by Christian to end it, and you know, it really was A&M being resilient, staying tough, not letting Bannister take over the match. She couldn't do it alone, so she couldn't win that set all on her own.
So Morgan Chris going back to last season. So for A&M, when their season ended, losing to the eventual national runner-up in Wisconsin, the overall 4 seed, but the Aggies had gone into the tournament as a 13 seed. LSU ended their season in the regular season. And I loved what Coach Bert Kuhn said, longest preseason ever. But she had really highlighted the precautionary nature of it and making sure, hey, let's get this right. We've heard multiple coaches say there's no sense in trying to rush to just do it first. Let's make sure we get it right, most importantly.
Yeah, you know, and that's been consistent with every coach we've talked to. Everyone wants to be safe. That's what they said. The safety, the health, and well-being of our student athletes is #1 priority. And then there's volleyball. Everyone wants to play, but what we're also hearing is how grateful they are to be playing. There's so many teams not playing right now. I mean, there's 4 conferences playing volleyball. So every day they go into the gym, and that's what Coach Kuhn said. We go into the gym, and we're super grateful that we even have this opportunity.
Coach Bird saying as well, June, big moment of growth for them. They had to have some conversation and say, look, we're committed, we're going to be responsible, respectful to one another, and highlighted, look, we just have to do our job as human beings and make sure that we're isolating, doing the things that we need to do to make sure our health is taken care of. And when they came back, they had those conversations, and they were ready to go for the 2019 SEC Coach of the Year. All coaches doing their best to navigate through the uniqueness of this territory, of this 2020-2021 season, but the light at the end of the tunnel, there will be conference champs, there will be an NCAA tournament announced and anticipated for the spring, and that putting so much more weight. If your season may end up only being 20 matches long. The importance, Salima, I would think of not only each match, but the individual results of each match. How a maybe 5-setter would look different than straight sets, and how each match is played and how that will be evaluated.
Well, there's so many things that the committee takes into consideration. I know, because I've been there and I've heard it, and I've been a part of the whole process. And it's, you know, playing at home, playing away, where you get these wins. I mean, it's going to be really interesting with some matches that were lost and not played, and how they take that in consideration as well.
You talked to A&M block, sending Bannister back on that swing.
Yes, Davis doing a nice job closing, getting there, knowing where the ball's going to go. Of course they want to get Bannister the ball. Hard to slow down, but if you're in the right spot at the right time, you're going to have some luck.
As we'll try the left, switching hands. As Flickinger had the right cocked back, but went to the left, tapped down the line, and gets the kill.
Sometimes the flight of that ball isn't perfect right where you're ready to pull the trigger. Sometimes you got to just make something happen there, and that's what I think she did.
And just to finish off that conversation, a big thank you to everybody at the NCAA level who have done their best job to get us as much information as they have and can possibly give us at this time to relay to y'all at home. Everybody wondering what the season is going to look like at the conference levels as well. Coaches have been great in being as frank as they can to say, hey, here's what we know, and we're going to deal with what we know as the season continues to evolve. Ball taken off the tips of the A&M block, so a couple kills we've seen from freshman outside hitter
But I'm still loving the defense on both sides of the court, controlling the ball, being in the right spots. I mean, I think they're doing a nice job reading the play, reading the hitters. There goes Bannister with his serve again. I mean, the bottom just dropped out of that one. Serving it with some pace. It's like a knuckleball, you know, I guess in baseball, where that ball moves and then just sinks on you.
She keyed that late run that brought LSU back into the second set. That's really been the story of this match. It's just timely runs as a service error from Bannister, but who has had that run at just the right time? Each team with one apiece has it overall tied at 1 set each. 4 serving errors for LSU, 2 for A&M. Tough serve received there from Chanchuli. That sent Bannister back towards her team's bench and unable to get it back. Some serving pressure from the A&M side. Reciprocated on the other side. Allison Fields with a service error. Both teams still seeing that side out percentage hover around 48. It's 48.1 for A&M, 47.3 for LSU. That ball does find the back corner. Morgan Christian, who's taken over that left side. We talked Cameron Ennis, but the numbers, 2 kills, 17 swings, and have gone the way of Christian on the left.
And she's really come in and added a lot to this A&M team right now. She's digging balls in the back row, holding it down and getting some big kills right now.
So that's significant just in the fact that Cameron Ennis was the leading attacker with 11 kills for the Aggies in yesterday's match. So the adjustments that we talked back-to-back, day-to-day, LSU maybe doing something defensively, anything you saw, but more importantly, Christian taking over on that left side for the Aggies.
Oh, for sure, and sometimes you just need a change. It's not, necessarily anyone's fault. It's like, all right, let's see if something else will work here. And both teams still trying to find their lineup, trying to find what works. This is the first weekend, and we'll see where things land as they keep moving forward.
Yeah, one thing Coach Flory said for this group, I think she made up a word, the best quality for them, teamness, is what she had talked about. But chemistry, I believe, is how you would encapsulate that. But the relationships, connectivity to the team, said that this is the closest team she's had in a long time, and she's been doing this for quite a while. Said that she feels that this group will stay connected for life. And those are great stories you hear. Salima, I'm sure you have teammates that you started and you are still friends with to this day.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's the beauty of volleyball. That's the best part, is the connections you have, the ones you make. And I know so much this year with COVID and everything happening in the summer, really even enhance that with so many teams, just helping them become even closer and knowing each other even better.
The team's trading points. One other thing for LSU that Coach Flory talked about identity-wise, you had mentioned for them, mentality is middle first under Coach Flory, and hasn't been something we've seen a ton of thus far, at least today, but that's a point of emphasis. And they had 2 freshman middles last year, so moving forward for LSU, they really want to try to develop their game out of the middle offensively.
Well, and they're running it. They're running it when they can. They're throwing it in there. But A&M doing a nice job defensively and not letting them just score and hammer the ball down. So they're throwing it in there, giving some opportunities. But, yes, I agree with you. They're going to expand that even more as it goes on.
There's a little action in the middle, but all set up by Samara Hill's big swing. The dig goes back over, but Allie Morris, that's a piece that now moving into her sophomore year, Coach Flory excited about, like their physicality.
And you know, believe it or not, that's a drill that coaches train all the time. The ball coming over the net, try not to hit the net or launch the ball out of bounds, just kind of redirect it, press down on top of the ball where there's an empty spot on the floor.
Yeah, and something it just seems so random. You never know. Is it dig going to come back over your way? But being aware, being in position, it looked like there. A huge benefit for the point. LSU up by 1. Seta Rose with the serve, diving, but could not get there in time. So we're not back up at 10 apiece.
Nice run behind. I like that slide they run, that A&M runs. It's fast, it's to the pin. They have the ability to hit. Talbert can hit line, she can hit cross court. And
that coming from the left, and Hill.
Another
Samara
big
Hill
bomb.
now 8 kills.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, it's hard to control her swings, and she hits so hard. I mean, she'll hit you. She'll hit you to the platform, but man, controlling that ball to the center of the court is difficult with that much heat.
So the challenge last year with Hill, had to play 0-1. She's really an 0-2. So adjusting her game. Sophomore still trying to find, we've talked about for freshmen the adjustment coming into this unique environment, but sophomores as well. After you've got that freshman year under the belt, thinking, okay, here we build on that, but the delayed start of the season. So just some things to watch for LSU, who have proven their scrappiness, bouncing back from the defeat yesterday. Well, in this one here in the third set, tied up at 11 apiece.
Nice defensive effort on the part of A&M. Start by Christian, then a nice cover play by Davis, and just keeping the ball alive, giving themselves another opportunity.
So neither team in this third set able to develop any sort of run, just trading points back and forth as Talbert will sit down. Career and has not looked back. Coach Floyd talked a lot about these Texas kids, Bannister being one of them. Missouri City, Texas, just outside the Houston area, but the friendships, the rivalries on both sides of the net. And these two teams get together.
They all know each other. You know, they know each other. The coaches know each other. So it's fun. It's a fun competitive environment for both coaches and for both teams.
Bannister's second consecutive service error when she'd gone back to the line. So giving that ball quickly back. And how about the play there? It was a joust.
Nice play at the net. Looked like there was a net call.
So A&M back and forth in this third set. It's 1 apiece overall, but the Aggies leading by 2 come back for more action here in College Station. 2-point advantage for the 8th-ranked Texas A&M Aggies, playing their second match of the season, as is LSU in this 8-match conference-only fall format. Tyler Denning, Salima Rockwell. We've seen some great matches across the country. Thus far, 5 conferences playing. The SEC kicking off this week and this weekend their season. Kentucky picked as the favorites. 11 first place votes from the coaches, then Florida, Missouri, A&M, and LSU. So these two teams, per the coaches, picked to finish neck and neck. It's an LSU team that returns all of their producers in the major categories from a team that went 9-9 in SEC play last year. For A&M, we talked about it. It's really a new era. Holland Hands graduating. Camille Connor, the senior setter, named to that preseason All-SEC team. The big name back, but trying to fill the void in some of those new spaces, attack-wise especially for the Aggies. Seen good defense on the Texas A&M side of the net, out blocking LSU, but really an even match reflected in the 1-1 overall. Set score in 15-15 here in the third. Talk blocking there, some from LSU.
Man, and Wusi is just taking control of the net right now. Had a block on the left side with Rush. Then she has a block here on the outside against Christian. She's doing a nice job closing the block, getting her hands over the net. See both blockers here pressing in time.
Well, the weapon of the dump, we talked to the other side, Camille Connor going to it so much, but her counterpart, Carly Rose, utilizing it to find the floor and a point.
And she has that jumping ability as well. She gets off the floor nice, and Bannister lays that ball high and tight. She just goes up with her left hand, has the ability to do that.
First kill for Rose. LSU hitting 188, A&M 206. 6 service errors for the Tigers, 4 for the Aggies, 3 aces for the Tigers, 2 for the Aggies. Both teams siding out at 50%. You look across the scoring line, the numbers about as evenly matched as you can find as Hill attempts Connor with her dump attempt. Back row swing, set back by the Aggies defense. Another in the blocking column. That is the one area that there has been a market advantage for a team, Texas A&M, better defensive numbers blocking.
Without a doubt. And this set right now, LSU out hitting A&M, and that's been the difference so far. And you'll see A&M getting a couple blocks, slowing that down right now, and that's what they need to do against LSU.
Tight to the net, brought back by Rose, trying Bannister, but the Aggies get the point.
That's a tough set to make when the ball's pass tight and then you have to back set a ball. Tough to make, and then it ended up just a little too far inside of the 10-foot line for Bannister to hit.
Short serve. But good pass, good set, good conversion, Samara Hill. Second on the team with her 9th kill.
Keeping this ball in system, and she just pulls the trigger so fast and hard. Hits that ball right in between the block.
Boy, Hill's got some snap with the arm. Benet's serving. She'll usually come in to do so for LSU. But no rally. Teams trading points. Neither able to wrestle control for an extended period is now A&M up 19-18.
I'll tell you, Morgan Christian still providing so much energy, providing that spark, getting kills when they need it right now. Huge reason why they're still in this.
5 kills now on the match, and there's a service ace. Taylor Voss, the junior DS from Corpus Christi, Texas. Rose will try Hill on the cross-court shot. He converts to another kill. Melissa Walden sitting down for the Aggies. Carly Rose to serve. Good pass sets her up to go to the middle. Free ball coming the way of the Tigers. Bannister takes it twice, sent back on the second attempt. Back row tapped over. Voss there easily. Shot long. So the flag was up and a timeout from LSU. And after the timeout goes long and out of bounds. So a crucial serving error. Opportunity for LSU. Hill to serve. Camille Connor tries the right side and that converted on the slide. Goes to her middle. Talbert there.
She's been so efficient on that slide. Once they found that rhythm, it's perfect set, right in her wheelhouse.
So a quick side out for Texas A&M. Can the Tigers do the same? They do. Taylor Bannister.
And that's just over the top of the block. And there's not beating the block or trying to bust through it, trying to hit high hands. She's just over the top of the block on that one.
You're saying you just can't defend 6'5", right?
I mean, tough. when it's perfect and you're reaching at the top of your reach, yeah, it's tough.
So Bannister approaching 20 kills. Now 19 on the match after 15 yesterday. Can her team take advantage of the side out? Connor will try the back row big swing, but long and out of bounds.
I like that run by A&M because Christian's the one that's been hot. Want to set her out of the back row. She can definitely attack out of the back row. Just missed a little long.
22 apiece. It's been just a handful of points. The difference in this one thus far, and moments like that. Walters going long with the serve. Side out for the Aggies. Circle that here in the third set. Camille Connor to serve. And right back, given the point. So back-to-back service errors on both sides of the net. Here in crunch time, 23 apiece. 6 now for the Aggies, 7 for the Tigers. Bannister, we saw such a good serving run for her back in set number 2. Can she close it out for her team? Good pass sets up the offense, and Davis takes it off the block. But Salim, it looked like it started with that pass.
Well, it did. It was a little bit off the net, but I give credit to their setter being able to keep them in system. Like that's it. Connor doing a good job of the ball that's just out the 10-foot line.
See, that's why I got you. My eye, I see one thing. Your eye's much better than mine. See if LSU can keep off set point, and they will. Rose goes out the way of Bannister, backs against the wall, and we'll get some extra points.
This is the match that I was expecting, you know, just blow for blow, you know, big swings, nice defense on both sides of the court. We'll see how this plays out.
Service ace. Jill Bonet. So it was a tough play off of the serve. And it looks like Coach Flory will reach for the challenge card. So the point.
That's such a nice play by Rose. You saw her turn her hand and just move that ball to Toole off the block.
So now Jill Bonet to serve. Tigers a chance to go up 2-1. And they will do so. So LSU winning a crazy third set. A challenge that flips things around. 27-25, they go up 2-1 here in College Station. So welcome back to College Station, Texas. An absolutely crazy ending.
It was 1 or 2 points. So if you look at, we might need to take a look at service errors, when they happened, at what point in the match. So there's a lot to consider, but this is a tight and hotly contested match, and that's what you're going to see. You're going to see a lot of even numbers with set scores, deuce games at 25-23, and then 27-25, you know, in the third. So that's what you're going to see.
Well, yeah, really look no further than that third set. They could have easily gone the way of Texas A&M. So Aggies need this to push it to 5. LSU trying to take it and notch their first victory of the season. It was straight sets the victory for Texas A&M yesterday. Lauren Davis is leading the way for the Aggies. 14 kills, but was kind of quiet in that third set. Taylor Bannister, 20 kills, an overall match high on 47 swings on the LSU side of the net. So those the two individual leaders for their respective teams. Tigers will serve to start things off.
You're going to see a lot of adjustments on both sides. Now, both teams have a lot of information. They're going to have passing numbers on the bench. They know what they're doing in every rotation. So you're going to see a little bit more strategy as we get here. Saw even on the first play with 2 blockers. LSU had 2 blockers on that slide that was effective earlier.
Back row swing from Christian.
Christian continues to be in the right spot, ready to go, and you'll see the LSU blockers just took off. They were going to the left side, looking at Davis, and forgot about Christian in the back row.
Yeah, Salima, I'm with you. I think one of the best things about this season is going to be watching the match-to-match with the back-to-back format, but then the in-match adjustments that these coaches and their staffs come with. They obviously have a wealth of data, what they see analytically, what they see on the score sheet, but also what they see with their eyes to try to find better matchups. And that's an interesting wrinkle. Bannister was working in the middle, finding the back right corner.
Yeah, that's what they like to do in that rotation 1. They stack everybody on the left side of the court and just bring her down the middle. And they were ready for her. They had 2, maybe 3 blockers, but still she was able to go over the top.
Samara Hill will serve. Beautiful up. But could not keep it off the net.
A nice job by Connor keeping the block honest, keeping them a little bit concerned about her, and that's important. That opens things up for other hitters when she attacks the ball.
Out to the left, Flickinger with the swing. Aggies in the net. So 3-2 LSU. Just a reminder, if you're tuning in looking for Auburn, Georgia soccer, currently airing on the SEC alternate channel. Soon as things wrap up here in College Station, we will get you out there to Jonathan Yardley and Jill Lloyden. But some action left to determine who takes this second match of the back-to-back between Tigers and the Aggies. It's been a great match of back and forth, just swung by a couple of points at the end of each set. Neither team able to go on a long run.
Nice way to finish by Rush with a high swing off the top of the block. Again, if they can get her going just a little bit more, I know they want to, just trying to find those opportunities. Smart swing, not just swinging as hard as you can into the belly of that block.
Yeah, watching these teams develop their offensive identity, who's going to be where personnel-wise, especially for new faces, new places. Working out of the middle, that's something Coach Flory wants.
And Onwusi, excuse me, you know, a lot of people don't know this, you probably don't know this, she didn't start playing until her junior year. She started playing volleyball super late, and I think she was on the 4th or 5th team. I mean, that's for young players to know that you can do this, you can develop and get better, and you don't need to be on the top team from the beginning to get good.
So you have Onwusi didn't start until a junior. Bannister that we talked about didn't start until 9th grade. So LSU obviously doing a nice job developing within their gym. This thing's now 4-4 with Basham serving. Back row for Bannister, the block there for the Aggies.
Bannister, in my opinion, looked like she was a little too deep, wasn't able to scoot up enough to get a full approach. Her feet weren't quite to that ball. Could have been someone in her path, her approach path, I'm not sure, but.
Aggies lead this series all time, 26-17. But mentioned it was an LSU team that knocked off the 25th ranked Aggies. First win over ranked opponent since 2010 for LSU last year. There was some excitement for the Aggies welcoming in a rival in LSU to their gym to kick off the season, but
Onwusi is just fired up. Again, every time she comes to the front row, she's making some noise. She's either scoring or blocking balls. Really doing a nice job for LSU.
Nice piece of serving there for LSU. Flickinger, she had that pivotal serving ace back in the 3rd set. So delivers with one more now, 5 on the match for LSU. It's those little things, like you said, would have been the difference thus far. Right side for Rush, easy up. Back row for Bannister into the middle. Do it again, the LSU block is there. Onwusi heating up.
Man, they're gonna have to start working the edges of the block instead of working that middle of the court, because if she's not there, and even if she's late, she's getting her hands there, pressing into the middle of the court.
See, last season for Onwusi, 1.12 blocks per set, 4th in the SEC. Mentioned as well, Coach Flory saying these friendships, these rivalries. Onwusi from Houston, Texas, went to Leaf Hastings High School. So many of these players having known one another, maybe throughout high school ball, club ball, prior to even becoming conference opponents. Voss serving for the Aggies. And a tight pass to the net. Rose doing her best to try to bring that ball back, but cannot.
As a back row player, if she reaches across the plane, tries to bring that ball back, she's going to get called as a back row. It's a back row attack violation.
Short serve from Voss. Rushing in was Hill. She'll get it back on the give and go, but the Aggies blocked there.
That's exactly what they wanted to create. Pass that ball short, get her in some trouble so she can't have a full approach. The block was set. You'll see them front get right in front of her as soon as she passes that ball.
Aggies have been really clean with their block too. 15 blocks, 2 blocking errors. Christian, back middle.
See that play, and then she gets up quickly, playing this ball in the middle of the court, and that's the most impressive part about it, is being able to pick up a tip or a roll shot and then still get your footing and get a nice approach for a swing.
So 3-0 scoring run for Texas A&M. Can they build on that? Connor will try Christian again, but long, no tips caught off the block.
She's looking for a touch, but now she's telling her coach, yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure, don't do it. Don't waste the challenge.
So 9 apiece. Bonet to serve. And that works for Christian.
And I love the way that Connor is locating these balls right now for Christian. Put her in just the perfect position. You see this ball's passed all the way here on the right side of the court. The flight of that ball is perfect. Timing is right where it needs to be for Christian to get on it. And that's
12th
really
kill
what Connor
for
does well.
Christian for Connor, her 34th assist to go along with 8 digs, 3 blocks, and 5 kills herself. So a great all-around game, much as what we saw in the season opener from Camille. Connor is her team now up by 2.
Talbert with another block. I mean, she's really putting herself in good position, reading the play right. I know they're scouting a little bit and maybe scheming just a little bit here. So you watch them be in the right spot defensively.
Rose went for Hill, but LSU was in the net. So the Aggies reeling off a small scoring rally. There, Talbert, we saw going to the right, number 12. So just holding that defense for long enough. Where does Camille Connor go here? Tries Davis again. He's targeting that back row with power. Now has her team up 5 after the kill.
Davis is playing so well right now, hitting .355.
Her team in this set hitting .273, .221 overall in the match, but that above 300, the best efficiency-wise across any of the major attackers on both sides, with Christian serving. Quick set into the middle is sent back on the swing from Allie Morris. We'll try with Hill, bash him there. Down the line for the Aggies. So make it now a 6-0 scoring run.
I love the movement of the ball by Connor. That ball takes her forward. Now she's setting that slide to Talbert on not a perfect pass. And that's what a great setter does. They know the defense and what they're gonna do defensively with their block, and they go against it.
High back set for Bannister. Shoots that long past the line. So around the league today, Georgia winning 3-1 over South Carolina, splitting that series. Did those two teams. Arkansas winning both matches against Mississippi State. So this season for the SEC volleyball teams kicking off all conference play. So Christian will serve coming out of the timeout. Aggies need this to stay alive, and more of that will help if they want to send it to 5. Fourth service ace for her squad today.
A&M just putting pressure, and this was what happened before the timeout, some service pressure, and you'll see Rose forcing some sets back there to Bannister that weren't lined up perfectly, just running and kind of chucking it up there. And then she made a few errors. This is what service pressure does to teams. Watch Connor go up, look like she might dump the ball, draws the left side blocker, gets her to jump, and 1 on none with Talbert behind on the slide.
You've talked about that so many times, Salima, the pressure that's put on LSU. They ran that slide, then it opened up the left side with Davis. We saw a couple times the back row with Christian, but going there once again, but a much needed point for LSU to stop that 9-0 scoring run.
And it's hard. It's hard when there's that much pressure on you and you make a few unforced errors, things aren't really going your way. It's going to spiral pretty quickly. They have some time, see if they can gain some momentum at the very least coming into the end of this set.
It was Rose with the serve that barely cleared the tape, and then her setting counterpart, Camille Connor, using that offensive weapon, going to the dump, saw an opportunity, so quick with it, gets the point.
Once that ball control is there, and with a setter that's that offensive, there's so much noise, it's really hard to defend.
Trying that left side with Davis, two defenders converging. So now a 10-point advantage for the home squad. Short serve received by Bannister over, and that easy money. Morgan Davis just able to take the ball to the back corner.
You're going to see them serve Bannister short to get her out. That's that play. This is where they want to run her on that one ball in the middle where she's so effective. And getting her out of the play just eliminates her completely.
See the Davis sisters, Lauren and Morgan, help powering this Aggie team to a potential 5th set if they can get 4 more points. LSU trying to build, scratch at this lead, but potentially build some momentum if this were to go 5. Salima, we've already seen a great 5-set match earlier this weekend in the ACC.
Some good volleyball going on, just teams battling, just making it happen right now.
Connor going for the dump again. Chanchuli was there. Trying for Davis. And that places the Aggies 3 away from taking the 4th.
Again, it's just the Aggie block, slowing down Bannister a little bit, controlling the ball that's allowing all of this to happen. So you'll see a good pass over and over again, a dig that's right to target that's allowing them to get these one-on-one opportunities.
Out to the left side, Flickinger. this easily the most extensive and dominant run we have seen in this match, when A&M went on that 9-0 spree that put them at this 10-point advantage. Other than that, it's been tight all the way through, neither team having a lead of more than 2 or 3 points in the 3 previous sets. Davis in the middle. Makes it 23-12.
I like this, A&M mixing it up here a little bit. You see Davis come in for a 2-ball in the middle from the left side of the court. LSU blocked, lost her just a little bit, and she was able to score.
Lauren Davis now 1 kill shy of tying her career high. Trying to go into the middle was Connor. Bannister on the right side.
And it was all the defensive play.
Set point. Flickinger to serve. Remains set point. But that will end it. Talbert, one of those offensive keys, unlocking the middle and pushes this to a 5th set.
And really the difference was serve and pass game that entire set. A&M was able to control the ball. Connor was able to do
with 3 remaining in this winner take all, our second 5th setter of the weekend, at least for you and I taking in. And it starts with an A&M point. Aggies, especially Talbert, have been able to control that middle. Sabrina Sestala comes in to serve. Talbert sits down. Rose will try Bannister back row. The block sends it back. Trying to cut cross court. Samara Hill, but just a little too much.
Right now, LSU, they need either Bannister to be in a good position to hit a ball over the top of the block, or Hill to be able to find the court here.
Trying Hill. We'll look for Bannister tapping into the middle of the floor. Whistle blew as the ball determined not up by the officials. Thought there might have been a chance for a pancake. Aggies felt so as well, but the point going to the Tigers, which in this race to 15. That important to get on the board.
And again, if the players aren't sure, they're not going to have their coach waste one. Or if they say, I kind of got it. Let's see, I thought it hit the ground. Again, that ball has to be clean. The whole ball has to hit her hand. None of it can hit the floor. It's a great move. It's a great move, and that's a close call.
That was a very close call, but no challenge. Point stands as called. Nice job by Flickinger to keep it up with the left hand and able to convert. Samara Hill. Benet serving for the Tigers. Short serve to Voss. Connor looking for the dump. Rose will try Bannister. Voss there. Davis catching the antenna.
Yeah, that ball was set maybe just a little bit wide, and she wasn't able to really bring it back and avoid that antenna.
So a good response from LSU. Benet continuing to serve right at Voss again, trying for Davis. Block sends it back. Bannister. You talk the tempo and that connection, speed of that set, but just off there on the attack error.
Rhythm just a little bit off. I think she played that first ball too, so maybe just didn't have an opportunity to back up and get a big enough approach. So if they can find that connection and get it going again, they're going to be okay. But in the meantime, A&M in control.
3 apiece. Rose tight to the net, tried to tap over. Rush will try from the right side. Hill cutting it again, but same result. Last time she went to that shot, it was wide and out of bounds there too.
Yeah, she's trying to find some space on the inside hand of the blocker, just inside that block, because she doesn't feel anything down the line right now.
Into the middle, and Coach Floyd has to love that. Because offensively, historically, I like to drive it out of the middle. That's Allie Morris.
She knows what she needs. She's getting fired up, and if they have the opportunity to run some stuff out of the middle, they're going to do it.
Carly Rose, the setter, serving, dives over the tape. Rush there with the shot, but out of bounds.
I like Connor just kind of talking to the team, calming everybody down. Rush just took a swing that hit the top of the tape and hit the ball out of bounds, but not the end of the world. And that's what that leadership in a setter does. Keeps everybody calm, keeps them under control.
Connor trying in the middle, but the LSU block sent that back. It was good deep. Already Texas A&M with the victory yesterday in straight sets. This one, LSU took the first 25-23, A&M the second 25-22. A very tight third set, couple of challenges, close calls at the end, 27-25, but then A&M dominant in the fourth to send it to this fifth. It's a 4-0 scoring run from LSU that led to a timeout from the Aggies. It's Rose to serve for the Tigers. And the Aggies go to the middle and successful in stopping the rally.
I like they're changing their play right now. Let's do something different. So they ran a slide with their middle blocker and brought Davis around on that 2-ball. And even though it wasn't a good pass, Connor was still able to set it and wanted to run it. And it was effective.
So Aggies serving, Cameron Ennis. So you see Cameron Ennis back in, number 10 in white. LSU getting that point though. Hill now will serve for them. Connor will try the right side in Treyana Rush.
You know, it's a nice move to put Ennis in there. I know she didn't pass that ball, but just kind of steadying out the passing. That's what they need. That's what they know that they can do. So if they can pass the ball well and move it around, they're going to have some success.
Where does Rose go here? Tries the middle, swing bit, catches the tape, but enough to get it over from Allie Morris. Rush again. You talk moving that ball around for A&M, trying that right side, and Treyana Rush delivering.
Some big swings. She wants the ball. And look how far Connor is when she sets this ball. She's way past half court. Jacks that ball back there. Rush is ready. She wants it. She's looking at her setter and says, give me the ball.
So Rush will sit down. Voss will serve. It's a tight pass to the net, but Rose able to recover. The defense sends it back for the Tigers. Connor will go with the swing with the left. So Camille Connor, the weapon. No, we talk about it as a dump, but that was just a straight up swing.
Yeah, she's not happy that she missed. It was the right opportunity. She didn't have a blocker up. She knew what she was doing, just missed it.
9-all. Into the middle, but just too much.
It's the right run. They want to get the middle going here. She just missed a little bit long. I bet they'll go back to Bannister here.
That at Hill. They go to Bannister. They dig over. Chance Christian. Bannister will get a swing. Up by the Aggies into the middle and pushed down. Mallory Talbert.
I just like the defensive adjustments. This is where Bannister was scoring before in that deep kind of corner of the court. Now they're just planting somebody there. Perfect dig. Transition in the middle.
So make it 5-0, the scoring run. Tigers trying to stop that. Aggies have their foot on the gas and will continue. Talbert back to back, this time on the slide.
Again, controlling the ball. Setter that causes confusion, draws the block in. You'll see this happen again with Flickinger. Jumps with the setter, sets Talbert on the slide.
6-0 scoring run. Aggies still serving. Voss remaining. Rose tries Bannister, and that'll work. Forces it off the block.
LSU mixing it up a little bit there as well, running Bannister around on that 2-ball.
I love that coach's perspective you give us. What happens out of the timeout? What are the adjustments? Bannister is proven challenging with that serve. Aggies get a good look offensively up by the Tigers, trying the other side. That's Whitney Foreman, number 4. Haven't called her name. This is the first time the sophomore from Houston, Texas, inserted.
Yeah, I saw Coach Flory talk to her right before the last side out. She said, hey, you're going in for one. See if we can get a kill here. See if you can come up with something, but it's all right.
Try to just run a different look at the Aggies defense, but now A&M a point away from set point. Rose will try Bannister back row, trying to go down the line, but wide. So now match point. A handful of them for A&M. And that'll do it. So A&M backs against the wall, dominant in the 4th set, and they take the 5th set 15-10. So Texas A&M takes both matches to kick off the season against LSU. We will now get you out to Athens, Georgia. Jonathan Yardley and Jill Lloyden, for my partner Salima Rockwell, Tyler Denning saying so long from College Station, Texas.